Hello, everybody. It is January the 12th of 2020, and it is 72 degrees outside in North Carolina. I think it's a sign that our ecosystem is effed. That's just me, and I'm not exactly a meteorologist or anything, but actually, that was the same way 7 years ago, so I really shouldn't say anything. Hello, everybody. I am Doug Lackey, veteran columnist of Wrestleview.com and co-host of Wrestleview Live, alongside the effervescent Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com, where we cover all of the major WWE pay-per-views immediately following such right here on the Wrestleview YouTube channel. Yes, today is going to be a very, very fun show. Yes, it's going to be a fun show because we're going to be talking not about the Royal Rumble, but a different type of Royal Rumble. I'll get to that in a second. I got to clear my throat for this right now. If you're in the chat room now, you say, wee! If you aren't in the chat room, there's not a damn thing I can do about that. I see Jamel. Hello, Andrew. I think I saw who else was in that chat room. I saw Quentin. Who else is in there? Come on now. You know you're in there. You know you want to say something. Come on now. Let me acknowledge you, please. You're not watching football, are you? Come on. Football's boring. It's 21-0 right now with the Texans on top of the Chiefs. There's no reason you should be watching football right now. It's not even a game. It's not even halftime yet, and they're up by 21-0. Come on. Who else is in there? Jamel, if it's 2020, where are the damn flying cars and jetpacks? I don't know. Where are those things? That would be really nice. Okay. On the show, we're going to be reviewing last week's Raw and NXT, with Raw, someone coming back from nearly 5 hip surgeries. 5 hip surgeries, okay? That's why I haven't been mentioning him on the injury report, but because he's been on it for so long, we didn't know if he was going to be coming back, and he hasn't been on the milk carton because he's been hurt. So that's why we're going to be talking about the Raw and the NXT. Lots of shenanigans happening on the NXT. When it comes to the news, if you have not been watching the Twitter, it's been fun. Gonna fill you in on what the hell's been going on the Twitter. Oh, this is a good one, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very, very fun one. Few additions to the milk carton, even though some of the people that are going to be on the milk carton are going to be leaving it this week because they'll be appearing on television. They've been advertised to do so. Hello, Mashoon. Whee! Hello, Daniel. Whee! Also, on the show, so Royal Rumble times is slowly approaching. 2 weeks, I believe. Yes, in 2 weeks it'll be appearing. And not only is it Royal Rumble times, but it is also time for the annual Fantasy Royal Rumble. What the Fantasy Royal Rumble is I'm sure if you have you got friends, you get together to watch the Royal Rumble, you may do some kind of, draw numbers out of a hat, and if that number wins the Royal Rumble, you win. Stuff like that. Some people do some prop bets in the Royal Rumble, like which number participant's going to have the most eliminations, or will a female appear in the men's Royal Rumble, stuff like that. But the Fantasy Royal Rumble is a lot like any kind of fantasy sport that you play. Fantasy football, fantasy hockey, fantasy baseball, you name it. Fantasy Royal Rumble is something that I've been doing now for close to 15 years with all of my friends. When we watch the Royal Rumble, we do wager some money on it, but if you are not familiar with the Fantasy Royal Rumble, I'm going to fill you in on how to play it. And also, keep an eye on the Facebook page, the Wrestleview Media Facebook page. Next week, the Fantasy Royal Rumble begins. So I'll fill you in on what that means when it begins, the rules, all of that other good stuff. So this is going to be a fun time. But also, more discussion pops up when the Fantasy Royal Rumble begins. The biggest of them being, who exactly are the main event performers of the WWE? Who exactly are the mid-card and low-card? Well, that's what we're going to be discussing here. Yes, so it's going to be a fun one. It's not going to be an angry show. It's not going to be a draining show like the past two were, where we were covering all of the pay-per-views from the 2010s of the WWE. Okay. Oh, yes, before we dip into the show, the sources. What are the sources today? So, I've been hitting it pretty hard these past few weeks. Hitting it with some sources that were in the double-digit ABVs. We were looking at a 12 2 weeks ago, a 14 last week. We're going to tone it down a little bit. First off, the reason I love craft brews is for two reasons. The first reason is you get an assortment of flavors and, just creativity from the brewery, Who knows what they can come up with, But the second reason are the names of the beers. For example, last week we tucked into from D9 Brewery their Defying Gravity Infinite Improbability Sour, which was a complete mindfuck. But the D9 makes some great sour beers, and this one I've never tried. I'm going to be tasting it for the first time here, but I grabbed it because, again, for the creativity of the names, the name of the beer. So today we will be drinking from the Wild Things sour line from D9 Brewery. Superstitious Pigeons is the name of the beer. Why? I don't know, but it's called Superstitious Pigeons is what it's called. And what it is this is a sour ale brewed with peanut butter and raspberries. Peanut butter and raspberry sour. I have never had this, and I am a peanut butter junkie. I love peanut butter. So, let's try this here. Also, the ABV, it's a 5. It's a light one. It's a 5. But there's a reason we're doing a light one. So first, let's try this. Superstitious Pigeons, peanut butter and raspberry sour. Ooh. Okay, so the peanut butter is kind of a... Yes, you do taste the peanut butter, but what's weird is, can you ever really taste the difference rather than the consistency between a chunky peanut butter and a creamy peanut butter? This has the taste of a crunchy peanut butter to me. The raspberries are simply put in there being sour. Sour beer's always got a berry of some kind. At least they try to. But, no, this is interesting. No, it's a good aftertaste. Peanut butter and raspberry. No, it's not bad. Would I take this down every day? Oh, absolutely not. No. But, no, it's interesting. Crunchy peanut butter is awful, says Daniel. No, I agree. I prefer creamy myself. So I'm just glad it's not a crunchy peanut butter beer. That'd be weird. That'd be very, very weird. Okay. Mashoon, I hate you for reminding me. So, I still owe some things. As many of you know on this show, when it comes to the pay-per-views, and we make predictions on the pay-per-views. And every show makes predictions on pay-per-views, and this one is no different. However, what makes this one different is that I actually wager something, okay? And that's why the predictions seem to carry a little more favor. And so, when it comes to making predictions, sometimes I lock predictions that I'm very confident in. Those predictions that are locked, if I fail to get them correct, we take a shot of the Luna Azul Blanco tequila. This one's been lasting a while. I may have to refill here probably around WrestleMania times. I really hope I don't have to by the time WrestleMania comes. I really hope this does not go into my belly as much. The Fiend says, wee! So, the TLC pay-per-view from last year, we had 3 locks out of the 4 go bad. So, that means I still owe 3 shots of the Luna Azul Blanco tequila. And I figured, since I'm going light on the chaser, we're going to go ahead and take care of some of those. I figure I'm going to go ahead and take care of 2 of them. Lewis in the chat room goes, wee! Yeah, so we're going to do 2 of these. Knock down 2, and we'll leave one behind for later when we have to do the actual predicting of Royal Rumbles. So, break out the Cleveland Indians shot glass. It is a double shot glass. Fill it up in front of the camera to show that I have integrity. Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. Whew. All right, I did not want to spill that guy. I do not like spilling booze all over my keyboard because then the keyboard will start saying things that I don't mean it to. Okay, I hate doing this. Yeah, that's right, The Fiend, that's what I do. You know, no one else does this, okay? No one else does. Andrew asking what a Browns shot glass would be. It would be a decanter is what a Browns shot glass is. It is a decanter. It's either that or a gallon jug is what it is. Okay. God, I hate taking these. I'm procrastinating. The shot glass, it looks menacing, okay? But no, The Fiend, this is what happens. You know, you make predictions. You're so fairly confident in your abilities that you pay the price. And this same lesson will be learned later on when we talk about the news and people who say stupid things on the Twitter. I know I can't wait to talk about that. And also breaking news coming down the pipe regarding South Dakota shows for the WWE. Your power's out, Lewis. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry, bud. All right, let's do this. Let's get it over with. All right. I did get some food in me beforehand, by the way. Scarfed down a lot of McDonald's. So hopefully this show will not go off the rails. Maybe we'll just stay on one of the rails and not go completely off. The Fiends just don't fall down after 3 shots. No, we don't fall down. Nah, we just wobble. We're a weeble. I wobble. I never fall down. Okay. All right. Here we go. There it is. The double shot. Here we go. Say it with me. I know Jamel did in there. Here we go. So, here's to me not knowing shit about professional wrestling. God. The shit I do for you people. I hate tequila straight up. I actually don't drink anything straight up now. I can't do shots anymore. I'm an old man with a full head of luscious hair. Look at that. I'm just free-flowing everywhere. Jamel, here's to this big-ass sandwich you're eating for lunch, you lucky dog. I had 2 Big Macs, a quarter pounder, and a 10-piece chicken nugget. I'm so glad McDonald's has the 2 for $5 going back. All right. The liver's great, Bashoon. You suck. All right. Enough of that. Enough witty banter. It's now time to talk about the wrestling, the people with the stretchy pants, and the oiled up beefcake bodies clutching onto each other, all to satiate our homoerotic subconscious. No, Jamel, no French fries, only meat. I don't do French fries. Because there's a lot of salt in those, and then you got to drink a lot of liquids. So no, I don't do that. All right. Monday Night Raw's times. Someone came back after well over nearly 2 years of being on the shelf. You can thank Braun Strowman for that when they had a steel cage match, and immediately afterwards, after chucking him through the cage, he had to have hip surgery 5 times over. No. That's what we're doing. All right. The Big Show? What is this nonsense? The Big Show is back after a near 2-year hiatus, being on the shelf with numerous hip surgeries. Now, we'll get through with this. We'll get through this. We'll get through this review real quick. This recap of the shows that we love to do so much. We are live from OKC in the Oklahoma. Jamel saying 5 hip surgeries. Yeah, 5 hip surgeries is what he had. I'm surprised he was able to go, okay? This has got to be his last run. Bork Laser and Paul Heyman coming out and talking smack, but then Heyman drops down the bomb on us saying that Bork Laser is entering the Royal Rumble match, and he's entering first. No word made whatsoever on if he was putting up his WWE title at all. The only announcement was that Bork Laser was entering the Royal Rumble at number 1. So, yeah, Ryan DG, anyone doing Royal Rumble squares this year? Well, Ryan, if you stick around, I'm going to be talking about the Fantasy Royal Rumble, which is a really, really fun thing to do other than if you're not doing the squares. Stick around. Going to be giving you all the rules and stuff with the Fantasy Royal Rumble. Everyone here in the chat room will tell you it's fun and a half. So again, Bork Laser, number 1 in the Royal Rumble times. Backstage, Rey Mysterio is saying something in Spanish and says stuff about his family and everything because he's going to have a United States title match going after his old U.S. title against Andrade with Zelina Vega in tow. Bell ringing, lots of stuff is happening. No stopping Rey Mysterio. He goes, whirly derby. Oh, God, here we go. No, it's not over the top rope, is it? No, it's that. Okay, good. I was not in the mood to do a wee. I think this is the 5th or 6th match Andrade and Mysterio have had together. And every single time they knock it out of the park. They absolutely knock it out of the park. The incurable Mysterio, I believe this is the Destroyer spot. No. Typical DDT from him. Yes, here is our Destroyer spot. Mysterio has been incorporating this spot into his repertoire. Boom. I've never really been a fan of the Destroyer. It's not along. My hatred for it is not along the same lines as the Spanish Fly. I hate the Spanish Fly. Absolutely despise the Spanish Fly. Bork in to promote a storyline and to look for an opponent for Mania in a roundabout way. Pretty much, Andrew. That's what we're looking at here. Whoever is going to be eliminating Bork Laser in the Rumble, that's what's going to be going down at WrestleMania, is what it seems like to me. More things happening. I think someone's going to get shoved into the ring post. Okay. I'm getting tired of these destroyers and sunset flips from Mysterio. But oh no! Zelina taking a tumble after having Rey dumped on her. Oh no! Can't remember what that's from. I keep on hearing a lot. Oh no! The Fiend saying, "Dude, come on, you can't hate Spanish Fly, dude." Yeah, dude, I do. Sorry, I can't stand the Spanish Fly. Just can't. Sorry, don't know what to tell you. Nafisa Dot says, "Wee." Nafisa Dot says, "Wee," and he's going to be appearing on the show next week. Ooh, news about that. I'm going to fill you in on that stuff. But your winner by pinfall with, of course, all kinds of junk going around and Mysterio checking on Zelina Vega. He got in the ring. Andrade hit him with the hammerlock DDT, so he won. Andrade would then rip off Mysterio's mask, hand it to Zelina Vega. She's now fully recovered. Referee has put a towel over Mysterio's face. And so there you go. Andrade versus Mysterio is the exact opposite of Kofi and Dolph. They wrestle each other a ton. That's right, Jamel, but they always knock it out of the park. Absolutely. Charlie Caruso asking Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe about Rollins saying they're individualists. Owens says it's true. Owens doesn't like anyone. Joe never plays with anyone. The enemy of his enemy is his friend. And they're going to watch each other's backs tonight. Joe challenges Rollins and the AOP against the three of them. Owens thinks he means Charles Caruso, but Joe says that he's found a guy, and he's going to go show him. So, yeah. Rollins and AOP walking backstage, and they say things. Meh. Street Profits are making their way to the ring, and they talk about the first Raw of 2020, how they won. Yay. Triple threat tag team match for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Street Profits versus the Orange County versus the Viking Raiders, defending said titles. Yeah, stuff happens. Dawkins hitting Spinebuster. Ford getting tagged out after hitting said frog splash, but Anderson would come in and shoo people out of the ring. Let me see what we got. Ford gets in the ring, hit a somersault. Who cares? Who really cares? Viking Raiders won. Power bomb. This is gonna hurt. Actually, okay, that's not a wee. That's more of a wee. Now there's more of a wee. Power bomb him down. Ivar. Okay, wee. There we go. Fiend saying, Doug, you gotta love Dawkins. No, I do like Dawkins. He is the yin to Montez Ford's yang. I like how he calms Ford down when Ford is getting way too obnoxious for me. Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens walk over to a door. Caruso's behind them. Becky Lynch would make her way to the ring to say that she's questioning herself about stuff. Asuka comes out to make fun of her. Becky Lynch pops her in the mouth. There you go. Mojo Rawley is backstage. He walks up to Eric Rowan, who's got the cage with him and the burlap on top of it. And Mojo just asks, dude, can I just look at it, please? I won't tell anyone. Can I just look in the damn thing? Rowan says, sure. Mojo looks in it, and he jumps back in terror. What the hell? What the hell? And so Rowan just smiles and continues to walk. Sarah Schreiber is backstage with Andrade and Zelina. Andrade is saying some stuff with holding Ray's mask. Ray comes up, beats the hell out of him where you can only see the back of his bald head. Ray grabs his mask back. So there you go. Eric Rowan versus the local talent. Local talent was also asked by Rowan if he could, Rowan beats the crap out of the jobber. Then he takes the jobber on over to the cage, lets him look into the cage, and the jobber just goes back screaming in terror. Oh, my face. Oh, there's stuff on my face. Something happened to my face. That's the only thing that we really didn't they didn't really touch on is the thing did something to his face. Place your bets. What do we got in there? A wombat? I'm going to think like an angry wombat. I don't know. Sprayed something on him? Sure, Andrew. But it's about time that we've gotten past a month and a half of don't touch my cage to sure, I'll show you the cage and shit happens. Okay, so that's fun. Okay. I think, I don't know if I want to compare this to Jake the Snake at all, but it feels darn near close to it. Yeah, it's always Hornswoggle. No, you're right, Jamel. It's always Hornswoggle. Randy Orton faking the injury shown against AJ Styles. Akira Tozawa versus AJ Styles. This is just the match to showcase AJ Styles and have him make fun of Randy Orton. So he did the draping DDT. He won, and he did an RKO. He won. Then he got to the top, to the middle turnbuckle and did the whole pose. Yeah. What things are happening? Yep, there's the clunky RKO. A very clunky RKO. Okay, Bobby Lashley and Lana are in the ring. They're saying words. Rusev appears on the Titantron. He says words. And so Rusev and Lashley are going to go at it next week. I love that. I like that meme right there. No! I kind of like that. Okay. R-Truth is backstage with Charlie Caruso. He's about to say words about holding the most titles in WWE history with how often he's been winning the 24/7 title. But then Liv Morgan walks up. Why? I don't know. And says that, since Lana's going to be in Lashley's corner, she should be in Rusev's corner. And that's a moment that she'd live for. Charlotte Flair Charlotte Flair versus Sarah Logan? What? Sarah Logan in a match on Monday Night Raw? We couldn't get Purrazzo or Green or someone else who's not even on the NXT roster or been introduced. Who? Sarah Logan? We haven't seen her since her 5-on-5-on-5-on-5-on-5-on-5 Survivor Series match. She's off the milk carton. Sarah Logan, off the milk carton. Welcome to the fold. And this was actually a very fun match. The bell never really rang. Sarah Logan was just going after Charlotte and doing crap to her robe and nice little knee right there. I dig this. Okay, this match never started. Wacky shit happening. Charlotte hit the spear. Nice job by the cameras. Nice job, production truck, to get to that angle. Beautiful angle. Andrew saying a skinnier Sarah Logan too. I think it's more about the attire that she's got on too. She's wearing more black and it might slim her down, but I don't know if that really makes any difference. But I am digging this concept of Sarah Logan matches never really happening. And she just goes nuts. Okay? I kind of like that idea. Nafis got a head out for now. I'm going to catch it. See ya next week, Nafis. See ya next week. News on that later on. Will Lashley go Tommy Dreamer and declare that he is extreme enough for Lana and Liv? Well, I don't know. It's a kid's show. I don't know. It's PG. I don't know. No Way Jose versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre would attack the conga line and then beat the hell out of No Way Jose. Yeah, here he is assaulting the conga line. Why would you do such a thing? They never did anything to you. I don't get it. Here he is, Drew McIntyre with the drop kick. I mean Claymore kick. After the match, he would deliver another drop kick to No Way Jose and then announce himself entering the Royal Rumble. I do want to talk about this, Andrew. He's starting to get stuff from the crowd. You know, he's counting down 3, 2, 1 and then delivering his drop kick. The crowd seems to enjoy him. But it's kind of a weird place. Don't you think? That he was on the shelf for maybe 2 weeks. Believe he had I think he was nursing an injury of some kind. I think it involved his shoulder. Then he comes back, and it just has these junk squash matches, against Hawkins, against Ryder, handicap against the two. Then he has this match with No Way Jose. Then he had Matt Hardy, face Matt Hardy. So I guess he's a tweener. I guess he might be a baby face. I don't know. Who knows? Right now, it's just going to be very, very interesting to see what they're building up with him. A lot of people are pointing to him being the favorite to win the Royal Rumble. I'm not one to jump on that bandwagon. I'm not one to jump on that bandwagon at all. Aleister Black against Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin's in a match now? We first have Sarah Logan, then we get Shelton Benjamin? What the hell's going on here? Last time we saw him, he was chasing after the 24/7 title. Off the milk carton. Shelton Benjamin, off the milk carton. Has a match against Aleister Black and gets kicked in the face. But then Buddy Murphy comes out and decides to beat the crap out of Aleister Black. Knees him in the face with the chair draped underneath his jaw. He would sit cross-legged on top of the barricade. So we are going to continue to have these Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black matches. The milk carton is being raided, it seems, Andrew. And then finally, Seth Rollins and the AOP are in the ring waiting for their opponents. Out comes Kevin Owens. Out comes Joey Samoa. And then finally, The Big Show. The Big Show makes his way. Now, I am sure that everyone in the Twitters was going, oh, God, not The Big Show. Oh, look. There is no better crowd-pleasing act than The Big Show. Oh, but he swerves all the time, Doug. He's going to turn into a heel for the 2,241st time. So what? So what? You remember things. Congratulations. You remember the most obvious of things. Congratulations. Tough shit. Get over your shit. Fun things are fun. And it's a fun thing for the crowd. Such a crowd pleaser. Okay? And it would be no exception with this match. AOP planting Kevin Owens. Loving me, the AOP. But your winners by disqualification would be Kevin Owens, Joey Samoa, and The Big Show, when Seth Rollins would smack The Big Show with the chair. Let's call it a day. Mushoon saying you meant The Big Slow, Doug? Well, no, I mean The Big Show. That's what he is. Andrew saying the interview afterwards was good. We will be playing some of that interview afterwards is what we will do. But The Big Show, getting one punch, I wish he would follow through with that right hand, but that's okay. Beggars can't be choosers. That's okay. What did everyone think of Monday Night Raw? 80% gave Monday Night Raw a thumbs up. This has been a very odd past month and a half for Monday Night Raw, because they have been fairly positive reviews from you, the viewing public. 80%? That's not supposed to happen. 80% of everyone is supposed to be hating it, because everyone watches Raw. You're not supposed to like it. People who like the show are usually the people who don't watch the show. Go ahead and try to figure that logic out. So, that was Monday Night Raw. For those of you that like the deliberate pacing and structure of the WWE product, Monday Night Raw is for you. For those of you who forgot to take your Ritalin, there's NXT. That's exactly what it is, right? That is exactly what it is. Gonna blow through this. Rhea Ripley comes into the ring. She says stuff. The crowd starts chanting, "You deserve it." And then suddenly, tons of other women start coming out. Toni Storm comes to the ring. Says words. NXT UK's women's champion Kaylee Ray comes out and says things. Io Shirai says things in Japanese until she says mine. Bianca Belair comes out and puts down everyone who's in the ring, saying she's better than Ray, better than Io, and doesn't know why in the hell Toni Storm's there. Candice LeRae comes out, doesn't say anything, and then Rhea Ripley just starts to tee off on Belair, and so we get ourselves the typical start of a 6-woman tag. Yeah, it's a 6-woman tag. What are the women doing? Oh, God. I don't know if this is necessarily a we. There was not really any form to this. But we really need to quit with this shit. Okay, this is Rhea Ripley. That's who it is. Rhea Ripley. I can't do a we with this because the way her form is, it looks more like ah is what it looks more like, and she looks more like ah. Yeah, there's no form to that. Poison Rana, isn't it just a reverse Rana? Yeah, that's just what it is. The Good Girls win. Candice gives Ripley back her title and puts everyone's arms up in victory. Everyone on the Twitter was too busy taking pictures of Toni Storm's butt because, feminism, Me Too movement and all. Tomato Chomper gave us a monologue of why he wants to get his title back. All 4 people who are going to be in the Fatal 4-Way to determine the number 1 contender for the North American title of the NXTs are busy doing shit backstage. Whether they're warming up or saying words, they're all doing that. Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. First round, Forgotten Sons with Jackson Riker in tow versus Imperium. I swear this match happened last year. This spot is really stupid. Marcella Bartel tossing Blake into a vertical suplex-like position for Fabian Eichner to deliver said suplex. That spot amazes me. Absolutely amazes me every time I see it. That takes balance on Blake's part. That takes some balance. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Just don't know how in the hell that happens. But your winners via pinfall would be Imperium after a Euro bomb. They will move on to face the winner of between Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, the team of Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, and against the team of Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. We'll be finding out who they face after Wednesday's show. Matt Riddle is backstage, and he says a lot of words saying that he and Pete Dunne are the broserweights. Bro. Austin Theory. Austin Theory comes out to make his NXT live debut against Joaquin Wilde. Would you believe that this is Joaquin Wilde's first appearance on NXT since after they had their little breakout star tournament before NXT became live on the USA Network? This is Joaquin Wilde's first appearance on NXT live on the USA Network. Bro, everyone's going in the chat room. Austin Theory would win his debut match against the other debuting Joaquin Wilde. Undisputed Era warming up. You know, I'm really getting tired on NXT, SmackDown, and Raw. This whole warming up thing that they do when they show the performers backstage. They try to make them some kind of flag or shit to drape over the wall, like it's UFC or MMA, like they're hanging a Mexican flag or a Brazilian flag up there. And then they start, acting like they're striking each other. I mean, Fish and O'Reilly were basically slow dancing during this segment. I really hate when they do that. I hate those. Damian Priest is backstage. He says words. Undisputed Era of Fish and O'Reilly are facing Gallius from NXT UK in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Undisputed Era would be winning this. Yeah, they do lots of tag team stuff. So, yeah, they move on. There you go. Andrew hears birds chirping. It's because I need the windows open in my room because of how warm it is outside. But I have to have the curtains closed so that the sunlight doesn't get in. It is a beautiful 72 degrees outside. But I got to have the door closed in my room just so that my girlfriend can work while I'm working. Johnny Gargano comes out. He says words provoking Fonz Balor. Fonz Balor comes out. He points fingers at Johnny Gargano. So they're going to be doing something soon. It's going to be for NXT TakeOver Portland in February. Those two are going to be going at it. So there you go. I hope DJZ gets over in the WWE. That's all, says Lewis James. We'll see. We'll see. Kushida makes the announcement that he will be teaming with Alex Shelley. Alex Shelley. Kushida and Alex Shelley will be teaming up in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic when they face the grizzled young veterans. The Time Splitters from New Japan are in NXT now. Okay. I'm intrigued. Don't know if I'm incredibly excited. Didn't really see a whole lot of their stuff. I don't know. Mia Yim versus Caden Carter. Caden Carter is your consummate female jobber in NXT, and Mia Yim is off the milk carton after sending Dakota Kai through a table and giving Dakota Kai a bunch of staples in her noggin. Very fun match until after the match. After Mia Yim wins said match, Chelsea Green comes out, attacks Mia Yim, and who is waiting on the ramp but Robert Stone. I take it this is the DJZ character that everyone's talking about in the chat room. I don't know. I'm just a casual watcher. Robert Stone, the character of Robert Stone, has been cultivating for the past year and a half on Twitter and at NXT house shows. Okay? Robert Stone is a manager, and he has what's called the Robert Stone brand, where he has people that are aligned with him. During the cultivation period of the year and a half of Robert Stone, he would have Riddick Moss and some other guy, big muscle jacked up dude, tag team with him called the Outliers. The Outliers, the tag team The Outliers, are now on NXT UK. But the Outliers would be a tag team that Robert Stone would trot out at NXT house shows. Well, those days are gone now. Outliers are in UK. And now Robert Stone is representing Chelsea Green in the NXTs. And thus begins the Robert Stone growth period in NXT. Robert Stone was part of the bromance in TNA. Oh, Robbie E. Okay, he's Robbie E. Okay, gotcha. All right, so he's Robbie E. Gotcha. The guy who used to be like, the Jersey Shore guy. That's right. Let's see. I really hope this goes well. Okay, I am a humongous fan of managers. I love managers. They help prolong stories. They help with matches and getting the crowd into the match, whether they are jaw-jacking with the fans, whether they're interfering. It's just great protection. But you got to have someone who can add something to the match. Paul Heyman doesn't do that. Paul Heyman just stands there. He doesn't interact with the crowd. He doesn't do anything in the match, hardly does anything. He just reacts, is all he does. The manager is an integral part of professional wrestling. It's so there for protection when there's someone who is got a great look but can't talk, a perfect mouthpiece. We're seeing it right now with Sami Zayn, and now we've got Robbie E. DJZ is Joaquin Wilde. Oh, okay. I really hope this flies. I'm very, very interested in this. Can't wait to see what happens. So many TNA alums in WWE and NXT. No, that's true, Jamel. It's very, very true. Tomato Chopper is challenging Adam Cole for the NXT title. Okay. Sure. We'll see when that happens. Fatal. Also next week on NXT, we're going to have a big, humongous battle royale of the vagina persuasion to figure out who's going to be going against Rhea Ripley. I know who's going to be winning that, and they're on the milk carton right now. The people announced for the Battle Royale are Mia Yim, Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, Chelsea Green, Dakota Kai, Kaden Carter, Xia Li, Io Shirai, Santana Garrett, Shotzi Blackheart, and Vanessa Bourne. The person who's going to win it is not in that list, but she is going to win it. Fatal 4-Way number 1 contenders match for the North American title. Damian Priest, also known as Taffy Pull Aleister Black, Double D Dominic Dijakovic, Cameron Grimes, and the always charismatic, enigmatic Keith Lee. We are going to be tossing people around. That's what Keith Lee does. Just power bombs people and chucks them into other people's, stomachs. That's what he does. Here's some other crap. Falling off to land on people. Not a whole lot of wheeze going on today. Keith Lee showing off Damian Priest's balance and poise for that superplex. God, that's great. Jamel saying Keith Lee is America's sweetheart. He sure is. He let it be known on the Twitter last week, I mean. Lewis, kind of bringing it up, I've always been a fan of Punishment Martinez. Damian Priest, Punishment Martinez, is growing on me. I was very, very skeptical when his debut came to NXT back in August. It was before the debut on the USA Network. But he's grown on me. He's grown on me. He gives a good forearm. He's very good at the forearm deliveries. But he looks weird. Can I just say that? He just looks weird. Other stuff happening. Bodies are flying everywhere. Yes, they are. Nice little pounce to get Double D out of the ring. Cameron Grimes is going to do shit. Okay, that's a we. All right. Cameron Grimes is going to do shit. Cameron Grimes is going to go, wee! He is a burly, hairy person. Wee! All the way from Burlington, North Carolina. That's in the middle. Wee! That's in the middle of bumfuck is where that is. There is no, wee! There is no interstate that goes through Burlington. Wee! It's kind of around Greensboro and Raleigh. Wee! Yeah, there's nothing in Burlington. Wee! Except for Cameron Grimes and his hat. Wee! And that's all I got to say about that. Whew. Whew. Sometimes those wheeze really take it out of me. But your winner of the match and moving on for the North American title is Keith Lee after he would spirit bomb the hell out of Cameron Grimes. Yes, so he will be facing Roderick Strong for the North American title in 2 weeks. And there you go. What did everyone think of NXT last Wednesday? 83% gave it a thumbs up, and that is par for the course because nobody watches NXT. I know what you're thinking out there right now. Let me get this off of here real quick. I know what you're thinking right now. You're going, Doug, you always cover the WWE product, but why don't you cover AEW? Why don't you review AEW, Doug? I mean, it's such a refreshing alternative from the WWE product. And it's right there on the television. If you're so lazy, it's right there for you to tune into. You can afford to miss an episode of NXT, can't you, Doug? Why not watch some AEW? You could review an episode of that. It's not that bad of a show. There are reasons why I don't really cover AEW on this show. Here is as I go throughout these times, I will be giving you examples about why I don't cover AEW. Here is example number 1. Number 2 will be next week. Doug, why don't you cover AEW? Bear in mind, no, there's no bearing in mind. Excuse me a little bit. I've got to really take this one. Exhibit number 1 of why I don't cover AEW. On to the news. No, that's not the news. That's the injury report. We'll get to that in a second. Hey, NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2 ended not but maybe a couple of hours ago. If you want to watch this, and you don't want to know what happened, don't pay attention to me for the next minute and a half, because I'm about to give you the results of NXT UK Blackpool 2. Not going to go over the matches, just going to give you the results. Eddie Dennis defeated Trent Seven. Kaylee Ray successfully defended her NXT Women's title against Toni Storm and Piper Niven. Oh, wow, the sour is good. Tyler Bate defeated Jordan Devlin. Gaius defeated the teams of Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, the Grizzled Young Veterans, and Imperium in a fatal four-way ladder match to retain the NXT UK Tag Team titles. And finally, Walter successfully defended the WWE UK title against Joe Coffey. Yes. So there you go. There's your spoilers. I just spoiled the show for you. Watch how it all happened. There you go. Sad news to start off with here. La Parka, long-time AAA star, passed away at the age of 54 following lung and kidney failure. Now, this is not the original La Parka. Yesterday, AAA owner Maricela Pena announced via social media that La Parka, also known as La Parka Jr., La Parka II, or La Parka AAA, passed away at the age of 54. He is not the original La Parka that competed in WCW. The official release from AAA was that he passed away due to lung and kidney failure. But it's believed that those problems stemmed from a previous injury. Which match, we're not sure, but the last match that he was in was back in October of last year against Ring of Honor star Rush, where Parka attempted a tope suicida, that is diving through the ropes, and his legs got caught on the middle rope. He came far short of Rush. His head and neck slammed into both the guardrail and the concrete floor. Now, after having surgeries to repair a neck and cervical fracture, Parka had no feeling in his lower extremities, and he had trouble speaking, but eventually was able to begin communicating and feeling returned. According to Dave Meltzer, AAA paid for all of La Parka's medical bills after the injury, and Lucha Blog reported that the company moved La Parka into a home owned by the AAA in Monterey after he was released from the hospital. So, first off, La Parka II's real name is Jesus Alfonso Escobaza Huerta. If you own a wrestling organization and a mishap happens to where one of your performers ends up paralyzed, completely debilitated, cannot do a thing for themselves, and now is like almost bedridden, this is how you handle that. You pay for everything, and you make sure that that performer is well taken care of. That's your obligation. Good on AAA to do what they've done to help La Parka or Huerta throughout his final months. Yeah. Sad. It's kind of tragic, too. But, sad news. Sorry to start it on a sad note, guys. We need to get up on a happier note, don't we? Okay. Buckle in, kids. So, later tonight, there's going to be a pay-per-view for Impact Wrestling. When is the last time I've ever started off anything on this show headlining Impact Wrestling? It's probably a first. But tonight is this pay-per-view from Impact Wrestling called Hard to Kill. Okay? Where Sami Zayn is defending the Impact World title against Tessa Blanchard. It made buzz all around the world for the past 2 weeks about how first time ever in a major federation that the men's world champion is defending against a female. And already throughout the worlds, they're thinking, all right, they're giving it to Tessa. This is how Impact Wrestling is going to get their name back on the map. They're going to do something like this. Sure, these two have been brawling all over their television shows for a long time. It's going to come to a head. The payoff's coming. This is what's going to happen. So Tessa Blanchard basically becoming world champion. It was also, they also gave out end of the year awards in TNA, just like NXT does, just like how any other federation does, just to try to quickly write a television show. And Tessa Blanchard won Wrestler of the Year. So all this shit being built about Tessa Blanchard, building up to be this thing, to be world champion. So yesterday on the Twitter, Tessa Blanchard decided to be inspirational. You know, just decided to try to be an inspiration. Try to have that, female empowerment moment. I mean, look, here she is. She's in the position to do it. Why not? Female empowerment. WWE does it all the time. Why can't she? So she got on the Twitter and started off, her tweet was, "Hey women, try supporting one another. Cool things happen." That was her tweet. "Hey women, try supporting one another. Cool things happen." Take a sip. Oh, the floodgates opened. Within minutes and hours of this tweet from Tessa Blanchard, she was called out on. Blanchard, here we go. Let's see where I can be reading this. Here we go. This tweet that she put out there led to a number of Blanchard's former co-workers responding to her with accusations of bullying and racism. NWA World Women's Champ Allison Kay responded first by saying, "Remember when you spat in a black woman's face and called her the N-word in Japan? Was that you supporting women?" The audacity of this tweet. Allison Kay would follow it up by saying, "The reason I've never said anything until now is because it wasn't my story to tell. I made it clear to La Rosa Negra that I had her back, and today was the day she gave me permission. You can't force someone to come forward, but you can be there for them, and that is supporting women." Goose says, "Wee!" La Rosa Negra would take to the Twitter and corroborate Allison Kay's story of Tessa Blanchard spitting in La Rosa's face and calling her the N-word. Chelsea Green would follow up from NXT. She would follow up, mentioning that Blanchard would bully countless individuals, including herself. Chelsea Green's tweet stated, "You've consistently put down, bullied, and belittled countless female co-workers, and including me. Is that what you call support?" Tessa Blanchard, for her part, has denied the accusations. Responding to the accusations of using racial slurs and spitting at La Rosa Negra, Blanchard stated, "Not true. That's my statement, and the most attention I'll give it because of how actually ridiculous it is." She hasn't deleted anything. Mind you, nothing's been deleted. Responding to Chelsea Green's statement, Tessa Blanchard said, "I've never been anything but kind to you. I've dealt with mean girls since I stated. Not saying I'm a saint. Hell, I've had my ups and downs, and I've made my silly decisions, such as life. You have zero merit in your comments. Instead, putting me down here for a little clout. You've got my number." This story, here's Priscilla Kelly. Remember publicly putting me down on Twitter last year for something that didn't involve you whatsoever, then continuing to drag my name to other people for it? Pepperidge Farm remembers. You should probably delete this tweet. It has been an absolute shit show on the Twitter. Isla Dawn, who currently works for NXT UK, says, "As someone who experienced your bullying firsthand, received regular verbal abuse, was spat on, had rumors spread about me, dealt with multiple attempts by you to blacklist me from other companies plus more. I just pray you now follow your own advice." Little Fettuccine says, "Wee! I call you Tiny Spaghetti. Tiny Noodle. You little Fettuccine is Tiny Noodle." It has been an absolute shit show on the Twitter. Tessa Blanchard trying her damnedest to make this a female empowerment thing has it blow up in her face. And the main argument, the only defense that I've been seeing from people is, oh, why are they coming forward now? And that's the only defense you ever hear when it comes to anyone coming out and saying that they've been harassed, abused, bullied, what have you, in any industry. The defense is always, well, why are they doing it now? They're doing it. That's all that matters. Period. End of discussion on that. Okay? What makes it more difficult is when Tessa denies things, but yet so many are coming forward. You've also had the previous Victoria come out against Tessa Blanchard. This is a complete shit show. I don't know if this necessarily helps the numbers for TNA. I'm always calling them TNA. They are not Impact Wrestling. I got a feeling a lot of people are going to be watching this show because of the stupid shit she said. The whole thing might be completely rewritten if Impact Wrestling has the wherewithal to do such a thing, or they might just run with it. Welcome to the world of professional wrestling, where you can take anything that is an incredible negative and immediately make it a positive. Lewis asking, do I think she'll still go over tonight at the pay-per-view? Yes. Two things are going to happen at this pay-per-view, okay? One, they don't change a damn thing, and she is still considered the babyface and will win the world title, and she's expected to be cheered on. Jamel saying Moose tried to come to her defense, but someone reminded him of his history with women, and he might have had to sit this one out. Yeah, I saw that. So one of two things are going to happen. One, she's been written as the babyface, and she's going to win the world title, but it's completely oblivious to everything that's happened within the past 24 to 36 hours. Or, number two, she wins the title, but she's a heel. How do you do that? You just have her win the title, and then she just flips everyone off. That's all you got to do. You can turn this into a positive. You absolutely can. Having her not win the world title just makes everything true about her, and you have destroyed her career. Is that what you want to do? If you want her to destroy her own career, then you don't even have the match happen. You have everyone come out, and then the referee just tells to ring the bell, match over, raise Sammy's hand, everyone walks out, and Tessa is in the middle of that ring standing by herself. There are lots of different scenarios we can go over on how this happens. But whenever anything like this that is incredibly effed up, you've got to get ahead of the story, and you've got to spin it to your advantage. And the way you spin it to your advantage is you turn her into an incredible heel. Period. So there you go. Those are my 2 cents on that. Oh, speaking of other stupid shit white people say on the Twitter, CM Punk unleashed a vulgar tweet towards The Miz after The Miz's appearance on WWE Backstage last Tuesday. So The Miz, on WWE on Fox, that is the handle of the Twitter account for Fox's WWE stuff. On the Twitter, the WWE on Fox handle tweeted out like a little after the cameras were turned off. The camera is still rolling on a phone. Little video showing The Miz saying that he thought that show went great. Christian joked by saying that he was just glad it was over. And then The Miz asked what could be a better show before quipping, "Well, I'm sorry I didn't change the culture. My bad." It's a joke. Okay. When this video was released by WWE on Fox, CM Punk then shows up and goes, "Go suck a blood money covered dick in Saudi Arabia, you fucking dork." Since this CM Punk has deleted this tweet, and WWE on Fox deleted their initial tweet. So Jamel saying it's like the Miz stepped on Punk's shoe and Punk responded by stabbing him in the kidney. The way I'd see this, I treat this more like, I don't know, really is over the top by CM Punk. I mean, come on. I thought you got away from this kind of stuff. I didn't think that this stuff really bothered you. I thought that CM Punk was above this. Well, he's never really been above anything. He'll respond to things that irk him. But it shows maturity and responsibility and professionalism when you do nothing. When you just let things go. Maybe it wasn't intended for you. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe it was meaning it towards someone else. I don't know. But you let something like that get to you? Ugh. Man, what does that say about you as a person? Or, once again, he's selling to those that want to be sold to and are willing to buy. And there are plenty that did. And some that are buying a different angle, like I am. So, take it for what you will, but welcome to the world of professional wrestling, where people say shit on the Twitter, you don't know if they're sincere or not. People reply to said tweet, you don't know if they're sincere or not, because professional wrestling. Lewis, I don't care about CM Punk anymore. I do hope I get to see AJ Lee back in the ring. Keep dreaming. Worked himself into a shoot, brother. That's what he did, Jamel. That's absolutely what he did. You know, but it's the land. Welcome to the world of professional wrestling in internet's lands, where one person will say something on the Twitter, can't tell if they're sincere, replies, you can't tell if they're sincere or not, and then you start questioning who is selling to you. Oh, by the way, speaking of who's trying to sell to you, Becky Lynch denied signing a $1 million a year contract, but says that a new deal is coming soon. The initial report from F4W Online stated that Lynch had signed a new contract in 2019 for $1 million a year for 5 years. Fightful would then carry this report on the Twitter. Becky Lynch would reply to Fightful saying, report not true, haven't signed anything new in years, deal coming up soon. Once again, who's trying to sell who? See why journalism is really tough in professional wrestling too? I was very skeptical. I was very weary of even running this story at all. But, I mean, the initial one of her signing the contract and everything. I mean, I'm glad we waited. But I was even more weary about us running the trashing of other sites because of Becky Lynch's openness. But I feel that needed to be said. So, yeah. Wrestling websites and their stranglehold on trying to get your eyeballs. And, yeah, nah, it ain't working. But breaking news happening today. WWE's next event in South Dakota is reportedly set, but there's no name for it yet. This time, according to P-Dub Insider, I guess we'll believe them, WWE is scheduling their next event in South Dakota to be on Thursday, February the 20th. Location in South Dakota has yet to be named. This would be the 5th show that is taking place in the desert of South Dakota. So, Who knows?
Who knows what it's going to be called?
Who knows? I think that's only a week after. I think that's within a week of Elimination Chamber.
I believe. Ring of Honor World Champion PCO is discussing allegations against the company and his rise to the top. Why would I care? Well, claiming about safety measures on concussion protocol and stuff like that. No,
I don't really care. You guys can read the story.
USA Network has renewed the Straight Up Steve Austin show for season 2 coming this summer. Yay, good for him. Good Humor is selling WWE ice cream bars. What we could call a cheapo Klondike. We can call this just call it a cheapo Klondike. That's what it is, cheapo Klondike. That's what I'm calling it. Final attendance numbers from New Japan's Pro Wrestling Kingdom. Wrestle Kingdom 14, the Kingdom of Wrestling of the 14th time at Tokyo Dome was revealed. It drew 40,008 fans on night 1, 30,063 fans on night 2, for a total of 70,000 fans altogether, which still pales in comparison to many WrestleManias that are held here in America for only one night, and that show is only 6 hours long. The Young Bucks did stuff last Tuesday at a Memphis Grizzlies game. To very tepid reactions. You be the judge.
That was our New Year's resolution.
Professional wrestling. Doug, why don't you cover AEW? It's such a revolutionary organization. They actually push their younger talent, and they don't rely on older talents like the Big Show to come back and do stuff for them for a cheap pop. Why don't you give AEW a chance? Diamond Dallas Page is coming out of retirement to perform at AEW's Bash at the Beach show next week. A Bash at the Beach that's taking place on in January. Whatever. It's making my head hurt. Tony Khan thanked the fans for making AEW's anniversary show a success. They were close to hitting 1 million mark. Yay. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you for all the things that you do. Johnny Moxley and Sammy Guevara are going to be facing each other at this Bash at the Beach thingy. Why is it a Bash at the Beach? Oh, it's at the University of Miami. Okay. Sure. In January. Oh, okay. Whatever.
2 matches have been added to the WWE Worlds Collide event going on Royal Rumble
weekend in Houston. The 2 matches that were added, Rhea Ripley is going to be defending her NXT Women's title against Toni Storm from NXT UK. But then Storm also she faced Kaylee Ray and Piper Niven at Blackpool 2 and lost. So she's getting another title shot against Rhea Ripley on Royal Rumble weekend. But the one match I want you to pay attention to is that one. Fons Balor versus Ilya Dragunov. I have been dabbling into a little bit of this Ilya Dragunov guy. He's a weird-looking guy. Okay, don't get me wrong. Weird-looking guy. Incredibly hyperactive in some ways. 195-pounder. He's a little critter. But so is Fonz. This is going to be an interesting match. I am more interested in this than Imperium versus Undisputed Era. This is one I'm really, really curious in. And finally, we need good news. We need good news to lift our spirits. And who can we... yes, Jamel. Dragunov fought Cesaro at Cardiff last year. Whenever I'm down and need to feel better about the world of professional wrestling everyone's who's incorporated in it. If I need my spirits lifted, who do you turn to? I only know of one person that I turn to, and that's this guy. Okay? Titus O'Neil and the Florida Aquarium teaming up to save wildlife from the brush fires and bushfires in Australia. O'Neil, through his Bullard Family Foundation, match funds raised up to $25,000. This was sent to the Australia Zoo, which is operated by Terry Irwin and the Irwin family. Terry is the window. Seriously, can we just put this man in the White House? Titus O'Neil, 2020. Seriously. He is everything that we wished we could be. The window, yeah, I know, Goose. It's the widow. Yeah. I didn't write it up. Okay? Jerome did. Yeah. Seriously. This man is an American treasure. Okay? I think I said it like 4 or 5 years ago with all the stuff that he had been doing. He was going to be a world champion, period. With all this stuff that he's doing, it doesn't matter anymore. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Okay? I don't care if he's ever going to be a champion or not. This guy will always make you happy. Sources are hitting? Not really. They're kind of light, but it's that tequila that knocked me. News on the injury front. So, Big Show returns to Monday Night Raw from after nearly 2 years and 5 hip surgeries. Here he is to talk about it.
Big Show, what an amazing surprise for all of us here at Oklahoma City on Monday Night Raw. You were the surprise tag team partner to KO and Samoa Joe. Now, this time last year, you were recovering from a hip surgery, not knowing your future in the ring. How special was tonight?
Tonight was amazing. After going through 5 hip surgeries in a year and a half, to be able to take a phone call from a friend, a peer in the business, to come out in front of this incredible crowd tonight and get back in the ring in almost a year and a half, and be competitive. I'm just extremely humbled and grateful. You know, they say what doesn't break you makes you stronger, and I think my faith in my career, my faith in myself, and faith in this business was tested past 2 years like it's never been tested before, and I'm just extremely grateful for the fans, and we'll see what happens next week.
There you go. 5 hip surgeries. Okay. And Jamel kind of bringing it up. This year and the next 2 years, we could be saying goodbye to him, Sheamus, Rey Mysterio. Yeah. Goose saying 5 hip surgeries in 2 years. I'd rethink that wrestling thing at that point. Well, he's not Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, who had like 5 or 7 back surgeries in the span of a year or year and a half. But, hey, if he felt good doing it, and as long they limited him was the thing. Not taking bumps is the big thing. He was not taking bumps at all. Okay? Just stand there, show off your right hand, go off the ropes, maybe just dive into someone, but you're not going to be doing any bumps. Okay? They protected him well in that 6-man tag. So, other than taking a steel chair to the back. Forgot about that thing. But still, he says he wants to do it. So who are we to tell him no? Fuck your shit. Fun things are fun. Also on the injury front, Ruby Wyatt is reportedly training at the Performance Center, and she's got new drawings on her body. See, she's got new drawings on her body. Can you tell which ones they are? I sure as hell can't. But she has returned to the Performance Center. She turns 29 later this week. She has not wrestled since May the 17th. That was from a live event in Cardiff. She was last on television on April the 22nd on WWE Main Event, losing to Dana Brooke. So, Ruby Wyatt back in the Performance Center. Jamel saying she looks good in glasses. Yes. I am a sucker for any girl that looks cute in a pair of dorky glasses. So, where does that bring us up on the injury list? Nia Jax, reparative surgery on her ACLs. We are expecting her back for Royal Rumble times. Whoopi Wyatt, we just showed her right there. She was recuperating from bilateral bilateral cleanup surgery on both of her shoulders. Jinder Mahal, ruptured patella, is not going to be back for until WrestleMania times. EC3 has a concussion. Don't know where the hell he's been. I think he's been on WWE main event, so he's okay. Kairi Sane, concussion. She is slated to go, it seems, judging from her Twitter and Instagram posts. She is back and good to go. Jeff Hardy, when he is not driving drunk down the highways of North Carolina and passed out drunk in a stairwell in Myrtle Beach, he is trying to recuperate from knee surgery and hopefully be in time for Fastlane in March. Lars Sullivan, debilitating surgery on his ACL and MCL, could be back for WrestleMania times if he's not too racist to be one. Xavier Woods and Ember Moon both have torn Achilles tendons. They are not going to be back until the SummerSlam. Boa from NXT, torn rotator cuff and labrum. He won't be back until SummerSlam times. Velveteen Dream, nursing a lumbar injury that I can imagine is maybe an impact injury, kind of like what I deal with myself. He'll be back in time for Royal Rumble times. And finally, Fandango, dislocated elbow. He will not be back in time potentially until February and take NXT TakeOver Portland. So, those are the people that are hurt. What about the people who aren't hurt? What about the people who are perfectly healthy? What about the people who haven't been on TV for, say, 3 weeks? They end up on a very special list. A special list where the guy who's been on it the longest just got a new promo photo last week. We're expecting his return, apparently. And maybe his cousin taking his place. It is the WWE milk carton. So many people on my back, but it's okay. It's heavy now, but it won't be heavy after Wednesday. Oh, help me. All right. Here we go. A lot of these names are only going to be on here for maybe 2 or 3 days. They are not going to be here past this week because they are being advertised to be on TV this week. For example, Kushida. We have not seen him since December the 18th where he faced Cameron Grimes. That's okay. He's teaming up with Alex Shelley for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic on Wednesday. Pete Dunne. Haven't seen him since his match with, I believe it was Killian Dane. Wasn't it Killian Dane? No, it was Travis Banks. Last saw him versus Travis Banks on that December 18th episode of NXT. He's going to be teaming up with Matt Riddle on Wednesday to face the grizzled young veterans in the Dusty Rhodes Classic. Dakota Kai. Haven't seen her since December the 18th where she gave some kind of interview of having staples put in her head after going through a table by Mia Yim. That's okay. She's going to be showing up for a battle royale to determine the number one contender for the NXT Women's title. Killian Dane. Haven't seen him since December the 18th. His match against Damian Priest. What's going on with him? I don't know. Marina Shafir and Jasmine Duke. Haven't seen them since December 18th episode of NXT. That's where they were at ringside when Shayna Baszler faced Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's title. We don't know where they are right now. And I give to you my pick for winning the Rumble match, the Battle Royale match, to determine the number one contender for the NXT Women's title. She has not been listed, but she's going to be in it because she's on the milk carton, and they're going to find a way to shoehorn her into this. Shayna Baszler, we have not seen her since she lost the NXT Women's title to Rhea Ripley. I'm not wrong in this assumption, am I? I wouldn't think so.
I'm not wrong in this assumption at all. Deonna Purrazzo.
Haven't seen her since the December 16th episode of Monday Night Raw where she did the job against Asuka. She was the one who got on the Twitter, said the crap about Tessa Blanchard. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. She could be returning to NXT sometime soon. I don't know. This one's very curious. Humberto Carrillo. Haven't seen him since the December 16th episode of Monday Night Raw where he took part in a gauntlet match to determine the number one contender for the United States title. And already all over the Twitters and the internets that all the title run with Humberto Carrillo was pulled. Who said he was ever supposed to win a title? No. 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 Stop it. Stop it. Just because you observe stuff on TV doesn't mean you have to turn it into a bigger drama than what it really is. No. He was never going to get a title. No. He's babyface. I know Cedric Alexander when I see him. Matt Hardy. Haven't seen him since the December 16th episode of Monday Night Raw where he took part in that gauntlet match. He is busy at home contemplating his future is what he's doing. Yes. Angel Garza. Haven't seen him since the December 11th episode of NXT where he won the Cruiserweight title from Lio Rush. He is still the Cruiserweight champion. He's just appearing on 205 Live. He's just not on any of the major shows right now. Raul Mendoza. Haven't seen him since the December 11th episode of NXT. December 11th episode of NXT where he faced Cameron Grimes to get revenge for him doing stuff to him on the stage. Haven't seen him since. Tyler Breeze. Haven't seen him since the December 11th episode of NXT where him and Fandango teamed up against the Singh brothers, and that's when Fandango dislocated his elbow. Tyler Breeze has since debuted on 205 Live last Friday. So Tyler Breeze is still getting work. I will not take him off this list until he is changed so on the WWE main roster or until he appears on TV again. Drake Maverick. Haven't seen him since the December 6th episode of Friday Night SmackDown where he was draped over the knee of Elias, spanked, and made fun of by Elias and Dana Brooke for having a very healthy and satisfactory marriage and sexual relationship. I don't get it. Lucha House Party. Haven't seen them since the December the 6th episode of SmackDown. Where they were part in a 4-way elimination match to determine the number one contenders for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Revival would end up winning that. I think they're going to be on 205 Live sometime soon. I don't know. Xia Li. Haven't seen her since the December 4th episode of NXT where she faced Shayna Baszler in a very compelling match. Don't worry, she will be in the Battle Royale next Wednesday. Titus O'Neil, it doesn't matter what the hell he was doing back on December the 2nd. He was chasing after their 24/7 title. Who the hell cares? The man is saving the planet and making the United States look great. Titus 2020. God damn it, Titus 2020. Mansoor, haven't seen him since the November 27th episode of NXT, where we were convinced that all he did was have matches in South Dakota and make those people happy. But no, he occasionally appears on NXT facing guys like Shane Thorne, who haven't been seen since. Vanessa Bourne hasn't been on TV since that November 27th episode where she faced Xia Li. She was trying to get revenge for her friend Aaliyah, who got kicked in the face by Xia Li, has ketchup on her face because she broke her nose. Vanessa Bourne will be appearing in this Wednesday's Battle Royale. She'll be off the milk carton. The Iconics are in Australia. Haven't seen them since the November 25th edition of Monday Night Raw, where they were trying to sell us stuff on the WWE shop. They're tending to their loved ones. I think that's okay. Tegan Knox, haven't seen her since NXT War Games 3, where she was kicked back into the cage by Dakota Kai and thus confirming the Dakota Kai swerve. She will be appearing in this battle royale to take out Dakota Kai. Apollo Crews, haven't seen him since the November 22nd episode of SmackDown, where he was taking part in schmazes to hype the Survivor Series, and Heath Slater was doing the same thing. Kona Reeves, haven't seen him since the November 20th episode of NXT, where he was supposed to have a match against Matt Riddle, but then that asshole Ricochet came up and decked him from behind, pumping up Survivor Series. Kona Reeves has been performing over at NXT UK, so he's doing okay. The B Team, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, haven't seen them since November 15th episode of SmackDown, where they were in the ring with Drew Gulak making fun of Braun Strowman doing things. Aaliyah, haven't seen her since November 13th episode of NXT, where she got kicked in the face by Xia Li, has ketchup on her face because she has a broken nose. Oney Lorcan, haven't seen him since the October 16th episode of NXT, teaming up against Danny Burch to face the Imperium of Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel. We have not seen him since then because he was in the middle of contract negotiations. Those contract negotiations have since ended. It is a multi-year contract, and he has been performing with 205 Live and various house shows. Tamina, haven't seen her since the September 23rd episode of Monday Night Raw when she was chasing after the 24/7 title. Don't know what the hell she's doing. Don't know if she really matters right now. Arturo Ruas. Haven't seen him since the debut episode of NXT on the USA Network on September the 18th, where he was in a match against Pete Dunne to confirm that Pete Dunne is a thing. Arturo Ruas is definitely not a thing right now. Dry mouth. Naomi. Everyone thought Naomi was coming back after the Russos came back. Nope. Haven't seen Naomi since July 22nd episode of Monday Night Raw. That was the Raw reunion episode where she was with Santino and crazy 24/7 title shenanigans happened. Primo Colon. Though being dinged on the wellness policy, we haven't seen him since the March 26th episode of SmackDown from 2019. He was joined with Sanity and a bunch of security guys to keep Shane McMahon and The Miz apart from each other to pump the WrestleMania match. We are almost a little under 3 months away from both him and his cousin owning the WWE milk carton, because Epico Cologne has not been seen since the Survivor Series of 2018. But he got a brand new PR photo for the main roster on WWE.com. Something tells me he's returning, probably for 205 Live. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. By the way, Robert Roode returned on SmackDown. Thus, he has served his 30-day suspension from the wellness policy. Jamel asking, where's Eric Young? Eric Young, I will look on my database right now. Eric Young was last seen December the 30th chasing after the 24/7 title on an episode of Monday Night Raw. People who may be appearing on the milk carton, if they don't show up, looks like a lot of NXT and a couple of SmackDown people. Grash says, wee! Names that are worth mentioning. Let me see. Not really. I'll only mention them when they appear on the milk carton. So, that is the WWE milk carton. I got to find something. How do I open up this I want my other beer. You all hang tight. In the meantime, I need to get a church key to open my other source. In the meantime, enjoy my thoughts on the responses that Tessa got. Here's a really funny picture. I'll be right back. It would be funnier if it blocked the thing. Block the thing. Block my face. That's better. Professionalism. There we go. Found my church key. The Cleveland Browns church key. Because all Cleveland Browns fans have to have a church key. You're required to have one. Fill her up, the sources, because now is the fun times. As if the fun times haven't been happening already. As Royal Rumble times always approaches, so do people who draw numbers out of a bowl to figure, to have a little fun. Like, oh, I got number 28. I hope number 28 wins. Well, there's a lot of skill involved in that. Others do squares for the Royal Rumble, which is fun. But honestly, I think squares are a lot more fun with professional sports. But I've been doing this for the past 15 years with all of my friends, and this one's going to be a fun times. It is the Fantasy Royal Rumble. All right. Here we go. The Fantasy Royal Rumble. Doug, what the hell is the Fantasy Royal Rumble? Well, here's what you do. The Fantasy Royal Rumble plays a lot like any kind of fantasy sports. You've got your team of performers, is what you got. So, just as you would in fantasy football or hockey or baseball, that's what you got. So how does this work? Well, you pick 3 performers. One is a main eventer, one is a mid-card, and one is a low-card. You get a team of 3. And the object is to get the best score with your team of 3. So, how does this happen? How do you get a score? How are points done? Well, points are determined in the Fantasy Royal Rumble based on their entry number, the number that they're eliminated, the exit number, and the number of eliminations that they did. Okay? So, in a mathematical sense, here is the scoring equation. A minus B plus C, exit number minus the entry number, and then you add the number of eliminations, and that is their Fantasy Royal Rumble score. If they won the Royal Rumble, they get an additional 5 points. Wow, Doug, this seems really weird. But no, it's pretty simple. Entry number and exit number, you are picking the participant that's lasting the longest. Okay, you want to make sure you pick someone you know is going to last a long time. It's not as much about the eliminations, but you could take that in consideration too. No. Get back up there. There. So, again, exit number minus entry number plus the eliminations. If they win the Rumble, they get 5 points. Jamel, but Doug, who are the people in the main mid-card and low-card? I'm glad you asked that because we're getting to it. Time out, Doug. Enjoy your Fantasy Royal Rumble. Check it next week. See ya, Lewis. Wee! Take, for example, the winner of the Royal Rumble last year, Seth Rollins. Entered the Rumble at number 10. Since he won the Rumble, he exited number 30, and he had 3 eliminations. Thus, 30 minus 10 plus 3 gives him a score of 23. He won the Rumble, gives him 5 points. His final score was 28 points. Wow, Doug, that means that we ought to try to pick the winner of the Royal Rumble, right? I mean, if we pick the winner, we're a shoo-in to win, right? Not necessarily. Take, for example, the 2017 Royal Rumble winner, Randy Orton, who entered the Rumble at 23. Stayed all the way, exited at 30, but only had one elimination. Thus, 30 minus 23 plus 1 gives him 8. He won the Rumble, gives him 5. Final score of 13. Not that good. Not that good. So, there you go. You pick a main event, a mid-card, and a low-card. Jamel asks, well, how in the hell do I know what the main event, mid-card, and low-cards are? I will provide the list of who to choose from within main eventers, mid-cards, and low-cards. What are examples of all of these? Well, you got your main event. And this is also the first Fantasy Royal Rumble I'm doing where NXT is included. So, who are examples of main eventers? Well, Bork Laser announced that he's going to be in the Rumble. Roman Reigns announced he's going to be in it. Tomato Chomper. He could be a surprise entrant into the Royal Rumble. But he's a main eventer in NXT. So, he's up there for the main events. What about the mid-cards? Here are examples of your mid-carders. Cesaro from SmackDown. Ricochet from the Monday Night Raw. Killian Dane from the NXT. I throw Killian Dane in there because he's right now on the milk carton and we haven't seen him. I think he's primed to show up at the Rumble. Now, who are examples of the low card? Drew Gulak from SmackDown. Zack Ryder, the consummate low card of Monday Night Raw. Even someone like Bronson Reed from NXT just appeared on the milk carton. He's only been having matches trying to build himself up. Hasn't gotten there yet. So, here are your examples of, low, mids, and highs. Main eventers, mid-cards, low cards. But as always, whenever I turn out the list of who the main eventers, the mid-cards, and low cards are, once I turn out this list, everyone is willing, you are encouraged to debate whether someone is actually a main eventer or a mid-card. And if you can change my mind, I'll do it. So, I'm curious who has the absolute worst Rumble score. I'd have to look that up. I think I have all those stored somewhere. But, so I've come up with 6 examples of performers that are up for debate. What is their tier? What are they? You really don't get these kind of debates, I don't think. You get more of like, oh, they aren't getting pushed. Oh, they're being underutilized. Well, let's get a little more specific. Are they main event, mid-card, or low card? What are they? Drew McIntyre. This guy, he has stated so often that he has never gotten a world title match. The only main events that he's ever been in have all been tag team events. He's right now being repackaged. Been repackaged for the past 2.5 months. Being in squash matches, in matches against Matt Hardy, Ryder and Hawkins, and just recently, just recently, No Way Jose. So, but he was always pushed before as a main eventer, it seemed. But he isn't one now. Right now, I've got Drew McIntyre as a mid-card. A very good mid-card at that. Everyone's going to be picking him on the mid-card. He reminds me a lot of Rusev. Everyone was picking Rusev on the mid-card for the Fantasy Rumble. So, right now, I see Drew McIntyre as a mid-card, and with that being said, he is going to be the mid-card everyone is going to take. Also, got to back up on this one. So, next week, I'll officially be putting out the lists for everyone to choose from on the Wrestleview Media Facebook group page. How do you get to select your team? Well, it's first come, first serve. You got to be the first to put in your team. If you put in a team that's already been selected, I will let you know. And then you'll have to change, okay? But first come, first serve, guys. That's all it is. Okay? So, Drew McIntyre seems to be the consummate mid-card pick. He is kind of a gamble grash on the top of the card. I'm not sure. So, who else we got that we should be talking about? Braun Strowman. The guy's had title matches. He's had world title matches for the past calendar year. He was put in a match against Tyson Fury in South Dakota. Right? I mean, he is main event. Right? Right? Right now, he isn't. Right now, he's slated in programs with the Sami Zayn crew of Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. And actually, since the moving of SmackDown to Fox, he hasn't really done much because he was involved in the little superstar shakeup to go to Fox, fledgling. And so they chucked him into a match with Tyson Fury to get some buku bucks over in South Dakota. Braun, to me, is mid-card as well. And this has to be done with me putting Drew McIntyre in the mid-card. I can't have one guy that everyone is just going to consummately pick in one tier. You've got to add some competition into it. So, sure, Braun might have been a main eventer throughout the first half of the calendar year, but the second half he was not. Braun Strowman I've got on a mid-card. It's just me. But convince me otherwise. On the Facebook page after I release the names, convince me. Here's one for discussion. Randy Orton. For the past calendar year, Randy Orton was used in world title matches against Kofi Kingston to confirm that Kofi was a thing. Now, he's in a program of sorts with AJ Styles. Kind of fledgling a little bit. But would you consider him mid-card? Randy Orton a mid-card? He's always been the consummate main eventer. How could you have Randy Orton as a mid-card? I do. I've got Randy Orton as a mid-card. It's more about what have you done for me lately? Main event talents are very few and far in between. There's only going to be 6 from each show to choose from. And the reason they are is because they're the ones you expect to win the Royal Rumble. I don't expect Randy Orton to win the Royal Rumble, but that's not why I put him in the mid-card. I put Randy Orton in the mid-card because he really hasn't been doing anything of any consequence, except for putting over that AJ Styles is a thing, and we all knew AJ Styles was a thing. Here's a bigger question for you. What about these guys? AOP, Akam and Razar. For the entire second half of the calendar year, they were just giving vignettes. Violence for the sake of violence. Saying words that we didn't know. Now, they are aligned with Seth Rollins, who is a main eventer, beating up other main eventers like Kevin Owens, not like Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, I almost have it in mid-card right now. But these guys, are they a mid-card? Are they mid-card? They haven't done anything. Is it really just mid-card just because of their association with Rollins? It can be. They're there to give validation and confirmation. Be aligned with Rollins, puts him in the mid-card, says Grash. I almost wanted to put him at low-card. But man, I don't know. This is a tough one. To have them as mid-cards or low-cards. I don't know. Mashoon saying Karen Borbin is mid-card. No. Karen Borbin is main event. No. Karen Borbin is main event. Period. The best heel on SmackDown and practically the whole roster. Karen Borbin is main event. But these guys, AOP, I don't know. Low or mid. I'm pretty sure I can't go wrong with either decision. I might put them at low card. But we'll see. It depends on what the roster shakes up and looks like on Raw. Here we go. The Miz.
Just recently in TLC, had a main event with non-Fiend Bray Wyatt.
Has been embroiled in kind of a decent program. But you would think with that kind of a match, that would have him at main event. And he's been associating himself with Daniel Bryan and the Fiend Bray Wyatt as main eventers. So you would think that by association with these other main eventers, Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan, that The Miz would himself also be main event. No. Throughout the entirety of this calendar year, he was too busy shooting his television show and doing Miz TV. That's all. Darn near close to putting him at a low card. But no, we'll put him on the mid.
He'll be on the mid card.
Yeah, the Miz will be at the mid card. There's no question on that one. But there's one final person, one final performer that I am having the hardest time figuring out where they belong. And you would think it would be a no-brainer after everything that he had done at the beginning of the calendar year. But where he is now, your guess is as good as mine.
So you're telling me that after winning the WWE title at WrestleMania, causing so many people to erupt in tears and smiles, you mean to tell me that this guy that was an inspiration to so many at WrestleMania is not a main event player? You mean to tell me that this guy is mid-card at best? Really? I can't have him at the main event after everything that he had done throughout the entire year?
Well, he did lose the Bork Laser in 8 seconds.
And he is tag team champion, so I mean that legitimately puts him in mid-card. And the only things he has been doing have been tag team matches. Recently having all these matches with The Miz, further confirming that both of them are mid-card. That is what it is. Michoud saying AOP is mid-card. Yeah, that's true. Randy going, wee! But yeah, this is, man, to go from the main event at WrestleMania, an inspiration to many, and now, I guess an afterthought? It's kind of sad.
I mean, we still think about him. It's not like he's dead. But his main event run's dead. That's for sure. Woods getting hurt is likely the reason why Kofi kind of locked in mid-card. Well, maybe. Randy, was Cena not main event in 2015 after Bork threw him around? Yeah. Cena is never not the main event. Cena is always main event. Period. Cena's always main event. You know he's going to toss a lot of people over.
So there you go. That is how you do the Fantasy Royal Rumble. Okay? Once again, you pick three performers, main event, mid-card, low card. Points are based off of entry, exit, and number of eliminations. There's the equation. And there you go. And that's how you do that. Check out the Wrestleview Media Facebook group page next week for the rosters for you to choose from, encouraging plenty of debate
from those that'll be angry as hell that some people are on there and some people are not in the tiers that they expected them to be in. Remember that once those lists are posted, the picks are on. First come, first serve. Get your team in as quickly as possible before it's taken. Before your team is taken and you get the word by me that someone's already taken it and you've got to pick someone else. And then just catch me when the Royal Rumble is going on. I'll be posting all the Rumble scores on the Facebook page or on the Twitter. That's how it goes. But it's really a fun time. If you're going to be with a lot of friends to watch the Royal Rumble, this is the way you should watch it, just because it gives people who don't follow wrestling that much and have not been following the product an opportunity to watch and play along. Just like how any fantasy sports are. I'm never really a fan of football, but when I'm playing fantasy football, I pay attention to it. So that's what the Fantasy Rumble is all about. It brings in those that were fans of wrestling or not at all and encourages them to participate and have a little fun. That's going to do it for Wrestleview Weekly. Thank you all so much for showing up and sacrificing your times of watching men in helmets slamming into each other for the sake of sport. Thank you all so much for stopping by. It is Happy Rumble season. Thank you all so much for showing up. I saw Grash. I saw Jamel. I saw Daniel. I saw Andrew. I saw Randy. I saw all kinds of other people. Mashoon was in there. Nafisa Dot was in there. Also, tune in next week, guys. Next week, Nafis Sadat, the one who made his appearance in the chat room, the one who gave so much to Mike and Victoria Tedesco during our Crimbus show last year. He will be my guest host for Wrestleview Weekly. Don't know if he's going to be drinking as much as I am, but he will be on the show next week to predict Royal Rumble weekend, putting myself in bodily harm is what he's going to be doing. So, that's going to be a train wreck and a half. Don't know who's going to cause it, but I know I'm the one who's constructing it. Once again, thank you all so much for showing up, guys. Be safe out there. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and all the football times. And don't be an idiot like Tessa. Remember what the hell you've done before doing something stupid. Or maybe we're just looking at all this the wrong way. And instead, we should be thinking of that other saying that I usually say, and that's know when you're being sold to.